Welcome everybody. Welcome to our web TV and demonstration room in Grenoble. We would have loved to do that today in Munich, in Germany, for Electronica, but we are doing a lot of demonstration and live sessions with you in order to replicate what we would have been doing in Munich. So we have a demonstration available here. I'm going to speak about that, and I'm going to speak about that through a video that we'll launch in a few minutes. Just to set the scene and to set the context, we at Teledyne E2V are working on high reliability digital processing solutions, and we bring to high reliability domains some digital networking processors that are provided on the market from NXP, X-Rescale. And in this context, we're going to demonstrate one of our top solutions that is called Qormino, that is a high reliability processing module, processing high reliability processor that is connected to a 4 GB memory. We're going to go into some details in the video, and then we're going to be able to answer your questions. Any question you may have, please feel free to ask them on our chat box, and we're going to be able to answer that from my side on marketing and business development, in charge of the digital platforms, and from my colleague who is going to join me in a few minutes, Thomas Porcher, working on the technical side on the applications. So please watch that video, and we'll come back in a few minutes. Thanks. Welcome everybody. This is Thomas Guillemin. I'm in charge of the digital processing platforms at Teledyne E2V. I'm very proud today to demonstrate one of our top 3 products for space, aerospace, and defense customers. That solution is called Qormino, and Qormino is a very compact computing platform that is embedding a gigahertz class processing solution, ARM or PowerPC, and a very compact high-speed memory, very compact DDR4 memory. Indeed, today the current trends we see on the markets and the trend we see from our customers are, I would say, mainly 3 things. The first one is to embed more and more computing, more and more heavy computing capabilities in their systems to perform even more demanding use cases, such as heavy computing in space, artificial intelligence in space, or even AI in defense systems. That's what I call the first point. The second important point for our customers is to improve the size, weight, and power swap, to improve the swap of their systems. And this is valid whatever we consider a CubeSat, a very small satellite in space, or even a constrained environment in an avionics system. The third point is, of course, one of our Teledyne E2V differentiators, is the capability to provide long-term supply for all our customers. So let's dig now into the product in details. As I shared, Qormino is a very compact, compute-intensive platform, and Qormino is 44 mm by 26 mm, so very small computing platform, embedding a gigahertz class ARM or PowerPC processor and a very high-speed DDR4 memory, and that one is 4 GB of DDR4 memory. So indeed, a very small product, and the processor is connected to the memory through 72 bits of communications, and 8 bits of this communication bus are dedicated to ECC, error correction code, which is mandatory for aerospace and system safety critical systems, I would say, as well as defense systems. All key peripherals such as PCI Express, Gigabyte Ethernet switches can be connected, of course, to the platform. So as a component, we can see that this is very promising, but the big chunk of the value that is brought by this Qormino is when we put that system into its complete environment. And this is what we are demonstrating here. The reference platform of Qormino is demonstrated the system in its complete ecosystem of hardware and software partners. This is what we are demonstrating here on this platform. Here is Teledyne E2V development kit. So we can see the Qormino that is included on the platform itself, on the hardware platform. Qormino is running here. And the demonstration here is representing a UAV ground control station avionics display. On this demonstration, the application is receiving a multiple amount of different signals, such as GPS coordinates, the speed, the positioning, altitude, some radar pictures, some radar information, and some pictures from the system directly. The application itself, the UI of the application, is developed by Presagis. It's Presagis VAPS XT tool. Qormino is running Wind River VxWorks 7 real-time operating system. And the graphic part is provided by CoreAVI, and CoreAVI is providing the Argus Core Safety Critical, Argus Core SC 1.0.1 drivers. Obviously, the reference platform here is composed of the Qormino itself, QT1040-4GB, and as well the AMD Radeon E8860 GPU, Graphical Processing Unit. So we can see on this demonstration that Qormino is a perfect tool, it's a perfect device and perfect platform to run multiple kind of embedded safety critical applications, and that's what we demonstrate here. And on top of that, we can see that Qormino is perfectly integrated in its hardware and software ecosystem of partners. That's what we are showing here. Now, to conclude, so you've seen the Qormino QT1040-4GB running in its ecosystem of partners. Qormino QT1040 is based on the T1040 NXP quad power PC processor, and Qormino is also available in an ARM Cortex-A72 version with the same range of memory, of DDR4 memory. Teledyne TV has the capability to provide variants of this device with a bit more memory if needed, and also with variants of these processors. The reference platform are available for both PowerPC version and ARM Cortex-A72 version. And Teledyne E2V is, by the way, developing and qualifying a space variant of this device, which is called QLS1046 4GB-space. And this particular product will be delivered with radiation information, both SCE and TID, and will also be delivered with a radiation mitigation package to enable computing and understanding what may happen in space due to radiation effects. Again, Qormino platform is available in both PowerPC and ARM, so please contact us if you have any requests or any interest to use to develop some software or some product on these applications. Please feel free to contact us for any question you may have. Thank you. Welcome back. So, as I said before, we are two Thomas. I'm Thomas Goulemain, and we have Thomas Porcher joining us on the application side. And we are going to be ready to answer any question you may have. I think you have to put your question, to type your question on the chat box that we have, and we're going to read them as soon as they are coming on the platform. Then, if I may start with a few information about what Qormino brings to our customers, I'd like to introduce a bit of slide, a bit of material, telling you exactly what do we bring to the market. And that's going to be highlighted on this slide. Yes. Okay, so just a summary about what we bring, what Qormino is bringing as a solution. And I would like to start with what you can see on the screen here in the middle. You see two versions of Qormino. One is based on power architecture. So the one that is here is based on PowerPC, 4-core, it's a quad-core NXP T1040 that is here. And it's connected to a 4GB memory, 4GB DDR4 memory, high-speed memory. It's 72 bits of connection between the processor and the memory. And the communication bus is also including 8 bits of ECC, error correction code, that is a must-have for aerospace and defense markets. I was saying that we have two variants, two flavors of the device here, because this one is pretty much the little brother of that one, and this one is an ARM-based, ARM Cortex-A72 quad-core processor.
The memory embedded here is the same as this one, same density, same capabilities, and same connection. And basically what we want to address here, what we want to target is customers willing to develop either on their legacy platforms, which are PowerPC based, and the customers who are willing to develop with a new kind of processing solutions, new kind of software, and the transition is not so obvious between both because software, dedicated software here, and we have dedicated ARM-based software here. But again, our willingness is to provide both options to our customers. So what we bring on the market, we bring higher and very high computing performances. Again, this is 30K DMIPS and a bit less for that one, but it's a big amount of computing in a very small footprint, by the way. The size is 26 by 44 millimeter. You can see that in my hands. What we bring is also a strong reuse capability. I would say that the people designing with our solutions are really easily capable to modify from one system, from one board, from one platform to another, thanks to having the complete design made, available, validated at full speed. I think the full speed, the speed, Thomas, is 2,100 mega transfer per second, right?
Yeah, for the ARM-based version, it can go up to, it's guaranteed actually to work up to 2.1 giga transfer per second. That's what we test 100% of the parts in production. And for the PowerPC-based version, it's a little bit slower. It's 1.6 giga transfer per second. When you realize actually that this is times 72 bits of data, that's more than 10 gigabits per second of data transfer between the processor and the memory. So it's actually a huge transfer rate that will allow customer application to get very quick access to the data from the DDR and to be able to write very quickly huge amounts of data back to the DDR.
So I believe that, and I'm sure that we've been qualifying the module at maximum speed in all corners of process and temperatures.
Yes, so indeed, as Thomas mentioned previously, the DDR4 bus layout is built in the substrate of the Qormino, and we've been fine-tuning the timing parameters of this DDR4 bus. So that means that when you buy a Qormino, you also get the proper timing to apply on this Qormino, the optimized timing that we guarantee to be working on the whole extended temperature range of the device.
So this is something that customers are getting naturally with the product?
Yes, they don't have to do the timing settings themselves. It comes together with the product, and the timings are the same for all products. When we test in production, we verify the corner cases on all parts and for the different temperature ranges.
Okay, that's interesting, and that's why we are putting on the slide that there's a strong reuse capability, because again, this is coming with the timings, the full timings of communication between processor and memory. This is available, qualified, validated, so I would say it's like plug-and-play device. And then finally, obsolescence management. Teledyne 2V is famous for guaranteeing the end of life and the obsolescence management after the original manufacturer has been obsoleting the product. So again, in this kind of product, with this kind of Qormino product, we guarantee the capability of supplying the product to our customers 15, 20 years, and that's really something we've been putting in place in Teledyne 2V since maybe 30 years, that we provide obsolescence management and lifetime increase to the device, because again, our aerospace and defense customers, sorry to say like that, but when a device is made, is manufactured, is qualified, the target obviously is to avoid to modify something, to avoid to spend money and time on a new qualification. So that's what we bring with that solution.
Perhaps we could also share that, as you've realized when you're buying such a Qormino module, when you're buying both the processor and the DDR4 memory at the same time, so from the supply chain management, it's easier because you get to see us, and you've got only one supplier to procure both of the most important part of your processing system, the RAM memory and the processor. And that means also we guarantee the obsolescence management, as Thomas mentioned before, on both of those components. So that can be a relief also to our customers to get access to both of the parts for this such extended lifetime.
Coming back on the benefits for customers, so we mentioned about the very little size, weight, and power. This is exactly what we target with the device. Size is very small, as you can see. The power consumption is small as well, and can be improved. If you want to know more about that, please contact us. Time to market reduction. We have customers telling us that they gain 18 months, 1.5 years during their design phase because of avoiding to make the link during the design phase, maybe avoiding as well some respin of their board because something was not very well implemented. That's exactly what we target and what we push. Better time to market, so time to market improvement, and time in market as well, because since a solution, customer solution is validated before, then you can go to market before. What we bring as well, you mentioned about the timings that are included. What we bring is the software integration because we provide and we make sure that both solutions, whatever it's ARM or PowerPC, are fully integrated and fully validated, I would say, with dedicated real-time operating system from the ecosystem of partners, whatever it's Linux for people willing to use Linux, or any real-time operating system that is known, recommended, or used on that market, whatever is VxWorks from WinRiver, DIOS from DDCI, PikeOS, or Lynx. Wanted to mention as well something very important for our avionics customers. DO254 is a safety critical certification. What we provide with Qormino, we provide some evidence, some design information, allowing the so-called certification applicants to better know the product and to provide to the certification authorities all key elements that are dedicated to Qormino, whatever it's PowerPC based or ARM based. So all the information are written here. I would say to summarize and to conclude on the product, that's the board, the development kit board is available, whatever people want to use a PowerPC version or an ARM-based solution. This one is a PowerPC version. I would say the ARM-based solution is the same format, same kind of IOs and connectors. I would say in a very reduced timeline to get access to a product, right, Thomas? What's the lead time to get access to that board?
It's we have parts in stock, and it's just a matter of putting the boards together and test them before shipping to customers. Those boards can actually be loaned or sold to customers depending on if they want to keep it for the whole duration of their project. They can use those development kits that we have either for benchmarking activities or even to start development. As Thomas mentioned, in these development kits, you've got lots of interfaces, PCI Express, Gigabit Ethernet, serial, SPI, and so on. So you can do lots of evaluation of the platform and start your development. If you want to know more actually on those development kits, you can have a look at the product briefs that are located on the Qormino product web page. There are 2 product briefs, one for each of the development kits, and you'll be able to see the details of the different interfaces available. So you'll be able to check that you can actually do what you want with those development kits.
Because indeed, you've been, and we've been writing all together with the team, we've been writing a lot of design elements like user guides for the demonstration, for the development kit, a lot of information allowing people to start design with Qormino.
Yeah, and what's worth mentioning, because this is a question that come up very often from our customers. So in the demonstration that Thomas shown, we're running VxWorks 7 because what we want to prove is that we are compliant with the whole certifiable ecosystem, both software and hardware. But for benchmarking activities and evaluation purposes, well, when we deliver the board, it's delivered with a Linux operating system so that customers can quickly start their benchmarking activity. So when the board is delivered, you can just like press start, power it up, and then Linux will automatically boot, and then you can start running some scripts or application that you want to check the computing power and check if your application would fit on those boards.
So we mentioned a few information on that, and prior to come back on the kind of customers using the platform, I'd like to mention a few things here quickly. Qormino QT1040 in PowerPC version is available now, is qualified. Devices are available for customers to make their own board. Development kits are available as well. The Qormino version that is here, ARM-based solution, is also available. We can sample devices to customers willing to make their design, their board, and the reference platform is available as well. So I guess you've been shipping a lot of platforms. What are the kind of customers you have? I don't want to say names, but are these avionics, space, or defense?
Until now, I would say that we've had lots of traction for the PowerPC-based version, so the QT1040 version. We've got lots of traction from avionics and drone manufacturers. So it's not a coincidence that what we are showcasing in the demonstration is a drone cockpit, because this is typically the kind of applications that people get interested in the Qormino because of its compactness and reduced, let's say, power consumption versus computing capabilities. And for the ARM-based version, well, let's say that the legacy on PowerPC versus the certifications issue and certification packages makes it so that our customers, our avionics customers, tend to still focus on the PowerPC application, and the ARM-based version is more looked at by space customers. So we've got lots of traction on the QLS1046, the ARM-based version, from space customers. I don't think we mentioned that actually there is a third flavor, as you said, of the Qormino, is the QLS1046-4GB-space, and that one is targeting space applications. So maybe you will show later a few slides on showing the history of the Qormino product line, so we'll get back to this later. But indeed, I would say for the PowerPC base, it's more avionics, drones, and defense. And for the ARM-based version, it's more space applications that are interested in this product.
And I think it's understandable because what we see on our market from avionics and safety critical people is what, if I'm repeating myself, is once the customers, they have validated their system, they want to use it for a while. And actually, the transition to an ARM-based solution is quite heavy in terms of design time, in terms of cost. Software is a big chunk of the price to modify a platform. So since this kind of PowerPC architecture has been available since many years now, well, all the assets and the key ingredients are available for this kind of platform, PowerPC. That's also why the transition to ARM will take some time. But again, as a platform provider, we are agnostic and we provide both flavors. One important thing that we didn't mention is the qualification -55 to 125. So again, this is targeting high reliability environments. And the arrow that is here, the last one, variants on NXP, PowerPC or Layerscape platforms. Yes, indeed, we have the capability at Teledyne E2V to provide, to answer to any request we may have with more or less memory size, more or less computing power on that one. That's some requests, some studies that we have the capability to do. And I would say typical kind of lead time to provide samples, hardware samples like what I have in my hands, are kickoff plus 6 months, which is very small timeline. Moving on to something here, I would say Qormino as a solution is a very nice hardware solution, as you understood, but Qormino would be, let's say, is integrated in a complete set of ecosystem partners. We mentioned here Lynx, Cisco, real-time operating systems. We mentioned WinRiver, VxWorks. By the way, Qormino plus WinRiver, VxWorks, plus CoreAVI as a hardware graphic processing unit manufacturer and a safety critical drivers. So this plus that is integrated in a product from BAE, Mission Computer System. That is public information because we made some press releases last year, and Qormino is qualified in that system. But you mentioned about the Qormino space, Thomas. So I wanted to come back a bit on the history of Qormino. We started some years ago with a version that was including a DDR3 memory at 1 gigabyte. And we came to a conclusion that this was too low amount of memory, and this was as well not the right memory generation. So we decided to do a lot of activities on what we call this proof of concept. We did some software developments, we did some timing developments, we did some board level reliability, because this is very important and customers are asking us about how the device is behaving on the board, on a high reliability board. So basically we've been doing from this and this and this, we've been doing a lot of board level reliability tests that we can discuss and share with customers, by the way. And so we decided to move to a version that I have in my hand that is demonstrated here, embedding a T1040 QRIQ processor and 4 GB of DDR4, and then making a bit of the same time the same product but for ARM-based platforms, ARM-based customers. And then, as you said, Thomas, a lot of traction also has been seen on a dedicated version of Qormino for space. And I would say the main difference here, two differences: the manufacturing flow that we have in Teledyne 2V that we follow, that we've been making and following to manufacture flight models for space satellites, space platforms, but also the radiation information and mitigation package that we provide. Do you want to say a bit more on the radiation information package and tests that we are doing on that?
So indeed, we already got some information of both the processor and the memory in terms of latch-ups and SE cross-sections. So this has already been done. It's a work in progress also in terms of TID results for both the processor and the memory. Typically, the key figures that we target on those devices is for the SEL, both components are latch-up free up to the 60 MeV that we tested them for. We've got the cross-session as well up to 60 MeV. And the TID targets are 100 carats for both of the components, and actually pretty soon we'll have a news on that, especially on the processor side. There will be a dedicated press release to announce our latest results on that.
Thank you. I'm showing that slide about software deliverables because often people are asking us what are they going to get from Teledyne 2V. Obviously, Teledyne 2V is providing the complete development platform plus the software bricks, low-level software bricks. And basically, we rely on either NXP Linux SDK or also real-time operating system software stacks. And we've been making sure that the platform that is here is capable to work with that. So again, compatibility has been shown, has been proven. We've been working on the compatibility with these real-time operating system platforms. And I would say very easily, you can get access to any of these platforms that is going to work with either Qormino in its T1040 variant or its ARM-based variant. I wanted to add one thing here, that we have a lot of videos available on YouTube that are helping people to understand how we save time and size with Qormino. And also, so the links are available here, and also the capability to reduce the time to market and the development with Qormino solution. And again, all kind of information provided on the product. And finally, we've been writing with our colleagues from WinRiver and CoreAVI. We've been writing a lot of data, a lot of technical brief, I would say, on how do we help system designers, system mission computer designers to get and to remove all the challenge they have on this implementation, whatever they're using WinRiver, CoreAVI platform as a graphic provider and drivers, or Teledyne E2V. And finally, I'm just moving to that one, because we mentioned about one. We did a press release last year with WinRiver, CoreAVI, and BAE to mention that their system, so BAE System Mission Computer, has been selecting Teledyne E2V Qormino, WinRiver as well, and CoreAVI to make their system. And I believe we'll know more in the days that's going to be arriving.
Thomas, maybe there is a question that we have been asked often by customers is, how does it look behind the Qormino at the bottom side? Maybe we can do a zoom on the Qormino to show what's there, because, well, we don't have connectors. That's the typical questions we get. It's a BGA grid that we have. I would say, if I remember correctly, it's 1,400 balls approximately, and the pitch is 0.8 millimeters. So that means that this device, this Qormino device, is integrated as simply as you would do it with a regular component. So you don't have to add connectors and flex PCBs or cables between the Qormino and your board. It's a direct surface mount component. So I thought it was worth pointing that out.
Since you're pointing this out, we often have questions on the compatibility between the ARM-based system, pinout compatibility between ARM-based Qormino and QT1040-based Qormino, PowerPC-based Qormino. From the pinout point of view,
they are not.
They are not compatible,
no.
Right? And it's
well,
very.
In fact, what should be pointed out is when we look at the pinout of the Qormino devices, apart from the region below the memory, the rest is more or less pin-to-pin compatible with the processor. So the area below the processor, that area here, indeed, well, it's more or less the exact same pinout as you would find on the processor datasheet. So indeed, since both processors are originally not pin-to-pin compatible, well, the Qormino modules are not pin-to-pin compatible.
Thank you. I'd like to come back on one question that we often have about the way we work with NXP. And I'd like to use some material we've been presenting at the press conference. It was earlier this year. So we've been showing some information about our relationship with NXP. And because we are working with NXP, and I would say NXP, formerly Freescale and Motorola, we are working with NXP since many, many years, maybe more than 35 years. And we've been always working with NXP in a partnering mode. And I would say NXP is considering us as their aerospace and defense division. And we are enabling their devices to go in different markets as what they are intended to do. Basically, we're working with data networking processors that are dedicated to big servers, big internet communications. And again, this kind of devices, Teledyne E2V brings this kind of devices to higher level of qualification so that they can go in very harsh environments, demanding applications, safety critical applications. That's what we do here.
So on those slides, we see the main differentiators, right?
Exactly. And I would say, so prior to go to the differentiators, yes, indeed, we've been doing that since more than 30 years. Yes, indeed, we've been supplying and providing on the market hundreds of K units on aerospace and defense markets. And then, just to mention, we target avionics, commercial avionics, military avionics, defense, space systems, just as payload processing, space COTS board, commercial space devices, and our commercial avionics processors have been addressing flight computers, mission computers, flight control systems. So obviously, any system that needs to work all the time and never fail. Same for defense and same for railway. And to conclude, I'd like to share, because we've been speaking a lot about NXP, and the way we work with NXP is a very collaborative mode. NXP is, and I'm speaking for data networking processors, that could be the same for microcontrollers. NXP is targeting very big markets with dedicated devices that are, I would say, more commercial devices. They are, for instance, validated between 0 and 105, or between -40 and 105. And what we provide an extension of qualification towards high reliability environments. We provide a complete characterization of the device and a complete qualification towards additional temperature ranges, -55 to 125. We also have the capability to do some deballing, reballing. Deballing, reballing stands for removing the row house balls, so unleaded balls that are available now on the market, and put some leaded balls. But again, not only putting balls, but qualifying the product with the new balls. So that's what we do. Additional temperature ranges, balling options, capabilities, plus complete qualification after the reballing. Capability to do custom solutions compared to a bigger company such as NXP. So capability to do custom solutions, address specific needs. We have a nice demonstration in our lab today. We have a nice demonstration showing about dedicated power saving that we do. So that's going to be also very interesting, that we can do as well on Qormino. That's to address specific needs from customers. And again, the last one is a long term, so capability to provide devices 5, 10, 15 years after the original end of life from NXP. So in addition to what NXP is providing, we extend the lifetime. That's why today a lot of our devices supplied every day are sometimes older generation, because we've been making sure that our customers can still use those products in today's systems that have been designed and qualified maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago.
So that means we have some specific equipment
Correct.
And some maybe programs from NXP, Thomas, to do that?
Yes, indeed, to be able to do and to extend NXP component towards high reliability domains, it means that we have a lot of things that nobody else could have, such as the test platforms. So the big testers, I'm going to show a picture about that. The big testers that are used to test the device, they are here. So Teledyne e2v has been investing a lot of money since many years to not only have the capability to test devices from all NXP series, whatever it's 60K based or T-series and Layerscape, so today's based platform, but also capability to migrate any older system, such as a 68K, towards a new tester, since maybe the older ones would be obsolete. So we invest not only in the new generation to test new products from NXP, and that's exactly the same testers as NXP in their environments, like those ones here, Teradyne Ultraflex. We have 2 of them. But also we have the capability to migrate an original program to a new tester when it is time to migrate that, because one tester or the other would be obsolete. So yes, indeed, we've been investing a lot on that. And also one of the key parameters that we have with NXP is capability to access to the original test vectors and test platforms and programs, making sure we provide the same quality, reliability, and test coverage as NXP is doing. So basically, and I think we can conclude here, we provide a Teledyne e2v customized and more integrated solution, implementing, increasing or lowering the size, weight, and power, so improving all these parameters. And we provide exactly the same benefit and same quality and reliability in extended markets as what NXP would do, or Freescale would do, in their standard markets.
So that means that when people are buying components from us, they are buying Teledyne E2V branded components, correct?
That's correct. And that's one point that I forgot to add in that slide. Yes, again, when people are buying components from Teledyne E2V, the warranty, and that's what we write here, the warranty is coming from Teledyne E2V. That's a Teledyne E2V product with a Teledyne E2V specification. And again, your interface is Teledyne E2V, because again, that's a full, complete Teledyne E2V product. If you want to know more about all of these products, please go on our website. If you want to know more, I think you're going to get access to our names and emails and maybe phone numbers. So please feel free to contact us for any question you may have.
Yes, so I see we don't have any more questions from the chat, so I think it will be time now to close the session. We can display our contact information so that you can get in touch with us if you want to know more on any of those topics. And as Thomas mentioned, we'll also have during this day other sessions to showcase this demonstration and power screening demonstrations.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.